Hey everyone, how y'all doing? It's Bacon Strips. Welcome back. Keeping up with the randomness of this whole commentary playlist type thing. Hope you all enjoying this so far. I mean, this is part 3. So far we haven't gotten as random as we can. I mean, the first video was like me just talking about the map, and now second part was some movie review. The idea is that you can watch, you can just jump into the series at any point and know what's going on. Though the point is that I guess my commentary is just background for you guys, and the gameplay is the main focus. I had a dream earlier. This is a weird dream, but it was a dream nonetheless, weird or not. But I was climbing this rope, and it was like a free kind of climb, like the rope was just hanging there, and it was attached to a tree house up in the sky. So I was climbing the rope, got to the top of the tree house, and I couldn't get in the tree house. Like there was like a gap in the bottom of the tree house to get into it, and the rope was attached to like the ceiling of the tree house, so I had to like swing my legs up to get into the tree house. But I just couldn't for whatever reason. I mean, I consider myself a little bit of an athlete, but I've never tried to swing my legs into a treehouse at like 5 million feet in the air. I mean, I could literally see like fields beneath me. It was insane. Like if I fell out that rope, easy death. Easy. Like I'm thinking like skydiving height, right? So I'm looking down. I'm like, okay, that's a big drop. And then I try to like swing my legs. So my legs like in the treehouse, and one hand's on the rope. Well, both hands are on the rope. And then I realized to get in the treehouse, I have to take one of my hands off the rope and go on the treehouse. And those few seconds, like I'm talking like 2 seconds, those 2 seconds that would have taken me to put my hand in the treehouse, I was like, nah. I was just laying like in the treehouse with my back up against the edge of the treehouse. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And then I woke up, keeping with the random theme of backwards compatibility. Yeah, we're keeping with the random phrases and things like that. So, backwards compatibility, if you don't know, is the ability for a console, such as the PlayStation 4 that I'm playing this on, to play games that were like meant for previous console generations. So, the PlayStation has a nice little numbering system, so we're going to use that for an example. So, the PS3 was backwards compatible with all previous PlayStation games. So what that meant was, on the PlayStation 3, you could play games on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1. So you could take your PlayStation 2 disc, put it in your PlayStation 3, and it works. And you can play the game like you were just playing on a PlayStation 2. I know, it's revolutionary. Not really, right? It seems very simple. For some reason, however, now I'm not a big console developer person type deal, but, I'm not even going to say I know a thing or two, because I don't know a thing or two. I know a zero or zero. The PlayStation 4 did not have this feature. It could only play PlayStation 4 games, and it couldn't play PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 1 games. And I was a little shocked. I was like, yo, what? Like, come on now. I don't know the point of like being able to play older games, because like, okay, you want to play older games, guess what? Use your older console. I've owned every PlayStation, so it's like, why not just play things on the older console? Well, there's a simple reason for that. I'm lazy. I don't want to have to unhook my PlayStation 4, hook up my PlayStation 3, find my PlayStation 3 game. I mean, I already found the PlayStation 3 game because, I want to play it on the PlayStation 4, so I already have it in hand. But it's like, it's just easier to just play it on the PS4. On top of that, I thought of this, right? A lot of people, what they do is when the new console comes out, they trade in their previous console for a little bit of money to get the new one. Which makes sense, right? I'm getting a new console. I don't need the old one anymore. I'm never going to play it. So why would I keep it around, when I can use it to help better stabilize myself financially and get the new one? I don't know. It's like a personal gripe, I guess. Like, I can always just hook up my PS3 and all my old consoles to play these old games. But it's just, it's just a pain for me, and I feel like it's a pain for a lot of people when I personally feel like I said, zero experience in this, but I feel like it's not the hardest thing in the world to make it so that your old games can play on your new technology. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, or I don't fully understand it, but I don't know. The reason I bring that up is because the PlayStation 5 has finally released some details on it. I mean, Xbox is over here. They're ruling things out. They got all the specs. We know what the thing looks like, whereas PlayStation's been mostly quiet on their release news. I mean, they came out with the specs and stuff, but I mean, like I said, I don't look too far into this stuff. I don't care about specs. I care about two things. I care about price, and I care about launch games or exclusive titles. I care about what the PlayStation is coming out with that you can only play on PlayStation. Because, you know, that makes me want to get it. You know, what Xbox comes out with that only Xbox players can play on. Like, these are the things that set the consoles apart. Obviously, the specs do, but I don't care too much about the specs because I know each console is going to be, like, pretty powerful. 3 times more powerful than the console before it or whatever. Like, obviously, like, that's what we're paying all this obscene money for, you know? We're not paying for some weak console. We're paying for a powerful console, so it's like both consoles are powerful. Great. One might be more powerful than the other. Guess what? I'm sure games are still going to look great on both. I'm going to get the one that has the games that I want to play, or I'm going to get the one that is a lot cheaper. Now, since I've started working, I am no longer a poor, broke college student. I am a working individual. The price is, it's not that much of a fact. Like, I mean, it's still important, obviously. I'm not going to go out and pay $1,000 for a console. But, I mean, in terms of, like, oh, if it's, like, in the 500 kind of range, I mean, I'm sure both of them are going to be around the same price. So, price tends to not matter. I know when the Xbox One came out with the PS4, you know, that season, I know the PS4 was, like, considerably, like, it was, like, $100 cheaper, I think. And it had the better games, but you know, Xbox is looking, they're off to a strong start this year, and I'm really excited for it. And they have backwards compatibility. They have it so that their Xbox, whatever it's called, Xbox Donut X, Series X, Xbox X-Men Series, I don't know, but their Xbox thingy is, I know it's the Xbox Series X, by the way. But their Xbox Series thing is fully backwards compatible. It can play every Xbox game ever made, all the way back to the original Xbox, which I think is amazing. You know, that's fantastic. That means everyone can dig out their old games and play them on their new console, as well as the new console games. Whereas Sony has announced that the PlayStation 5, that's the new one coming out this year, will be able to play the top PS4 games on the PS5. It's backwards compatible, but with a little asterisk next to the name there. Also, why don't they just call that thing a star? Like, why is it called an asterisk? That's such a weird word. Key S5 will be able to play some of the PS4 games, and so they have to redesign, I guess, these games to improve the graphics, the playability, the loading times, etc. But my thing is that Sony has said that they are going by playtime. I don't know, to me it's like the top games with the most playtime are the games that most everyone's played, and I guess you just don't want to go and play the same game again, you know, even though you just played it. Like, the whole point of the backwards compatibility is you can play, like, the OG games, like the games that came out, like, way back when you were, like, a kid. And now you can experience them with a whole new perspective or inflection as an adult or as a older, more mature person, you know, who has their different way of thinking. But to me, it's like, yo, I played these games, like, last week or whatever, and it's like now they're coming out for the PS5. It's just weird to me looking at it from afar. Like I said, zero experience in this whole console development realm, but it looks to me like Sony is pressed for time and they aren't able to work on everything they possibly can to give the consumers a full experience. And that's really bad in my eyes, because it's like, yo, it shows me that you aren't listening to the consumers. I feel that if you were to have your console fully backwards compatible, that people would get it. So to me right now, Xbox is winning the console war. Like I said, I care about two things: the price and the exclusives. As of right now, we don't know the price because no one's come out with the price. We also don't know the exclusives because no one's come out with the exclusives. So as of right now, I mean, I don't really have a pick, but I will say this: technically, Xbox has their exclusives on previous Xbox consoles because backwards compatible. Whereas PlayStation 5, I mean, I'm sure like every game I own for the PlayStation 4 will probably be compatible with the PlayStation 5, along with a whole bunch of other games. I'm not saying the PS4 had bad games because it had amazing games, but at the same time, it's like I feel like most of the consumers would have recently played these games on the PS4, so it's like, why put them on the PS5 so that we can play them again? I don't know. That's how I feel about that. That's my take on that. I'd love to hear your take. In other news, I started an Uncharted series, which is very funny because, I mean, I put up the first video, what was it, like Tuesday or something? And it just recently came out that, so my plan was originally to play Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and then to purchase Uncharted 4. But now, as it turns out, Uncharted 4 will be free for PlayStation Plus users in the month of April, which makes me really happy because it's like, oh, like, just go get it for free now. That's fantastic. So everything ends up working out. So I don't know, that might have to, I'm sure like some therapists out there can look into my dream and say, oh, this is like your reaction to all this. Anyway, hope you all enjoy this one, and I guess I will see you all on the next one. We are wrapping up on Kino soon. As you can see, we are currently on round 24. I did say 25. I don't know, we might go a little further than that, people. So stay tuned and stay lively in this time of unliveliness. Deuces.